Hi, it's Brenda Sue again. Are you ready to work with me? Because we're back down in the messy workshop. And today we're going to talk about oven patina on brass. A lot of people are interested in this eco-friendly look that's out there. There are many ways to get that look, but this is a really cool non-toxic way, and it really works. So hang in there with me and I'm going to show you how. And as before, we're going to start with very clean, degreased brass. I've got 9 little pieces like this little filigree here that I'm going to put in this bath just to kind of show you. But we're going to be working on a lot of different pieces, but it's real simple, and I'm not a measurer. I kind of do this the way I cook, by eyeball. You know, in my printed literature it says 5-to-1 ratio, but I kind of go by how it looks. So here's what I do. Dark cider vinegar, and I'm going to pour it in there, and of course it's drifting around, so I'll have to move it back because you want your pieces completely covered, so they are, but now they've kind of skidded over to on each other. You don't want them touching, you don't want them overlapping, because you want each one to get the full benefit of the bath. Okay, now you've got the cider vinegar. Now I've got some sea salt, but you can use really table salt too, and I just kind of cover it real good with the salt, and it gets down into there. Okay, that's it. This is going to sit for a minimum of 20 minutes, but you can actually leave it go overnight if you want. This is a good way to clean brass too, as a matter of fact, because it'll kind of bring up the copper that's in the brass, make it look a little rosy, but it's really perfect for getting your stuff started to get the patina going and the chemical interaction going. But that's it. Nothing toxic there. It's a little strong smelling because of the vinegar, but that's all there is to it. You leave it sit 20 to 30 minutes, couple hours overnight. You play with it, whatever you think, but you got to get at least 20-30 minutes clean brass in this bath. Now these are pieces that are finished. You don't just take them out of the bath and they look like this. You have to bake them in an oven, 450, for at least 20 to 30 minutes. And they should look like this by then. If they don't, give them another little swish in the solution, put them back on the cookie sheet, and leave them go for another 20 minutes or so. And keep doing it until you get the look that you want. Eventually, they'll look like this. There may be some highs and lows. You have to kind of play with it. No piece will come out exactly like the other, even if it's the same piece. For example, this is a closed plaque, and look how dark it came out. And you will notice some little gritty stuff over the top of it. That's just the salt that's baked on. So, you know, this is what it looks like when it's out, but you're still not really done with it because you need to buff it out and you need to seal it. So let me show you a little bit about that. Let's get this out of the way and talk about that. Here is a piece that got a lot of verdigris on it. And the reason it did is because when it was hot out of the oven, I put it on wax paper and I splashed it with the vinegar and salt. And that caused this verdigris to come up. It played to the copper that's in the brass, and you got all this. Well, it's really cool for an assemblage piece, but you wouldn't want to wear this for a piece of jewelry. It's just, it would get all over clothes and everything else. So it needs to be worked with. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, you'll buff it by hand. Maybe with an old, I like these things that you use like to work on your car, these real thick heavy ones. You'll buff that out by hand, and you're also going to have to use a Dremel, maybe a little grit wheel or something to get some of it out. But anyway, here's what I did with a similar piece, looked almost exactly like that, and I got it to look like this. So I removed some of the verdigris, just left some, buffed it out by hand, used my wire wheel from my Dremel and my buffer, and then I sealed this piece. You do have to seal this patina. Some say it's kind of transient. I don't know. I have to beg to differ. Maybe on a pale filigree piece it might come off in time, but really, if you do this and you bake it good and hard, and then you seal it, it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay that way. And what I use is this product, Renaissance Microcrystalline Wax Polish. This is museum jeweler's grade sealant for metal, and it was beautiful on brass. We carry it at the website. It is a little stinky and fumy, but not bad. I wouldn't say it's non-toxic, although this method is until you get to this point, but it's what you want. And if it bothers you a little bit, well, put a respirator dust mask, do it outside, whatever. Let it gas off for about 24 hours after you use it. But here's just a case in point. This is the raw brass piece that I did initially, okay, in the bath, and baked it. It came out looking old crud like this, but I brought it up to look like this. Isn't that gorgeous? You see little remnants of verdigris down in here that I did not remove with my wire wheel. Some very dark parts I didn't take out. I buffed this up with my rag, and then I used my little muslin buff on my wheel, and then my little grinder, my little wire whisk wheel, this one, to take the crud out. And yeah, I got to do front and back. And then I sealed it. And isn't that just beautiful? Here are some other examples. Here's one. This one was simply buffed out by hand. This piece works out well that way. And then I sealed it. See the beautiful glow? All natural, eco-friendly. Beautiful. Here's a piece I did a long time ago. The center piece is buffed out with the Renaissance. This I left it go. So you see, this isn't going anywhere. That's not coming off. It's staying. But probably, I've got my holes drilled. Probably till I finish it for a piece of jewelry, I will seal that, because I would not want this old patina coming off on clothing. I would not want that. So that gives you a really good idea where we're at with that. I hope you'll give it a shot. You do have to play with it. It's something that kind of you work out on your own, but that's the basics of it. In our next video, I'm going to kind of show you how I buff a piece like this out, or a piece like this. It's really got a lot of verdigris out, to make it look beautiful and ready to be used in a